Hello, everybody. I'm Anthony Rockers, living the Yellow Submarine. Today is a very different video because this is just getting to know me, especially if you have been subscribed to my channel for a while and you know that how much I enjoy listening to music and can have respect, even though sometimes I hate it. But I can give it like a great ratings because of how much I love about music. And my personal favorite genre or subgenres of music is mostly heavy thrash metal and progressive rock. So this video is titled "Why I Hate Dubstep." I never talked about this. I never talked about this in my videos, but this is that one genre that I despise, even as a music, because for dubstep when it, because that's the thing for dubstep, it was a popular. It's basically like a pop these days, because dubstep is mostly fused with electronic music these days. I believe it all started in the late '90s and early 2000s where it was getting popular in the mainstream, and dubstep has been starting to sound exactly the same. Even if it's from a different musician and bands, they all sound similar. And dubstep nowadays is more of a pop these days, and hip hop pretty much. Because we're in a world where pop and hip hop and dubstep is a big mainstream success, which I wish it wasn't. Because if you take a look at not just that, but new metal was a big thing in the early 2000s, the late 90s too. But it actually has some great bands and actually some good musicians from the new metal. Even though new metal is not my favorite subgenres, but it actually has some awesome bands that actually fuse with new metal. Because new metal is where it features more relying on hip hop elements with DJ scratching and rapping vocals. And new metal, I can enjoy that genre once in a while, but not as a go-to subgenres, because new metal does not feature guitar solos, and that is the biggest issue. It focuses more on the softer, mellow side of it, and not that, but it does not feature that many guitar solos either. And the reason why I hate dubstep with a passion is because it's so easily to overuse these days. And not only that, it's fused with electronic music that I'm not a big fan of. And it's so cringy to hear that same exact music over and over again. And that's why I don't like dubstep that much. Even if it's again by a musician or a band, it all sounds the same. That's the problem. And since that genre of music became successful, it's becoming a pop. It basically becomes a pop these days. And dubstep, what it always does in every music that all sound the same is like take the lyrics and vocals that doesn't make sense in dubstep, and then just say a word when the beat drops, and say like one word, and then the beat drops, and it gets annoying. And it all sounds the same, and that's why I don't like that genre, because it repeats the same simplicity of the repetitive of it for me. And the reason why I love progressive rock and heavy metal and all that stuff is because it actually has instruments playing. Because dubstep does not have instruments playing, even though it does. They're just basic, simple like drum beats too, like pop. That's also too. And that's why I also don't really like pop, because especially how overused it is today, and or you could basically call it popular music nowadays. And that's why I don't listen to those, because popular music these days are boring for me. It sucks as always. And I just don't get how people are seeing this. I don't get how this is dance, because that's the biggest issue about dubstep and pop, that a lot of people are having it right now, is that they all sound similar, and it's basically making you dance. Dubstep is all about making you dancing. It's not about grabbing a deeper meaning about what that song is saying, or how it delivers a tone of the instruments. It's all about the beat drops and just doing the music sound, and it gets annoying and it gets boring for a while. And if you listen to a bunch of dubstep bands and musicians who makes dubstep music, they all blend in with the similar sounds, and that's why it gets on my nerves that it's still popular today, and a lot of people don't realize that. Realize that it's not about listening to it critically and can enjoy it, but it's all about making you dance. And that's another problem too. Like, Iron Maiden is one of the most underrated heavy metal bands we've ever gotten, because they never played their music on the radio, and that was my issue about mostly well, I mean, not the society, but the mainstream industry. That's the problem. It's all about will it make the girls or also the guys dance. That's basically what it's all about. Making people dance to it. It's not about listening to it critically and just grab a deeper meaning and have that can deliver an emotional tone it gives us. And that's the problem I have with dubstep. It's all about dance. It's basically a dance music, like popular music nowadays. And that's why I love heavy metal and also progressive rock because they actually have more of a listening to rather. Well, I mean not heavy metal. More progressive rock is more of a listening to rather than dancing because then you'll realize how good it actually sounds. The music, that's what's matter. The music in progressive rock. And there are bands from progressive rock that actually did really good. First will be the Beatles. I could consider them as progressive rock. If you don't know what progressive rock is, look it up. Number two is definitely got to be Pink Floyd too, and that's why I cannot stand the genre of dubstep. I don't classify that as music because it just sounds so repetitive these days. And even though it's different, like what people say, it still sounds similar to the other bands and musicians that are doing dubstep. Because dubstep is totally not my thing because it's all about making you dance into it. It's not about like grabbing a meaning to it. It's just about like making you dance. It's basically a dance music, pretty much, if you will. And that's another thing too. They rely more on the low register bass, and it gets really annoying because of how repetitive it gets. But yeah, again, everything I hate about dubstep is literally why it's still popular today, and this is why people cannot get into different types of music because it's gonna be like, oh, but it doesn't sound like dubstep, or it's gonna be like different. Like, be open minded for once. Play some Metallica, play some like the Beatles, play some like progressive rock or heavy metal bands. You're most likely going to like it more than the dubstep that you have. And yes, I am a little sniffles because, and no, I do not have the virus. Don't worry. I just had it. I just had a cold today. It's basically temporary for some reason, something like that. But because the dubstep is where it started to create it. Dubstep in the late '90s and early 2000s, where it was big, along with nu metal was popular at the time too. But at least for nu metal, it actually has some finesse in it. A little finesse on it. But dubstep doesn't really have that much. And basically, dubstep is so overused these days. It's like you literally, if you listen to a musician or a band for the first time from the genre of dubstep, if you listen to one and then you listen to the next one, you're going to have a feeling that not only it's going to be predictable, you're going to most likely say it's going to sound exactly the same. And this is why I don't like dubstep because it's mostly a little bit more of a like hip hop electronic music that features DJs making like music to make you dance, and it's garbage. I can't stand that. And that's just this video, basically me doing a rant about how much I hate dubstep because I do not consider that as music, mostly because of the similar, not only the similar sounds, but the simplicity of the sound too, and it gets annoying really fast. Sure, there's rock bands out there that have simple sounds, but at least they had like instruments that actually express themselves with the solos too. And nu metal does not feature that too. And this is just like everything I hate about dubstep because they all sound similar, and not only that, it's just basically making you want to dance music. It's not about listening to it critically and actually listen to it. And that's another thing too, because nu metal at the time, where people back then used to jam out to Limp Bizkit's music all the time, and I just don't get why people jam out to these musics and not listen to it critically. I mean, I understand there's some people out there that actually used to. I know people back then hate on Limp Bizkit too, but that's the problem. Because you gotta think about it. Every generations, I don't even know, like almost like the early ages of music, where like at the time, like in the 40s, like there was like jazz and like and then the 50s was like rock and roll, and then the 70s and 60s were having more of a development of the music genres, which the Beatles, for me, I consider them more of a change thing. They revolutionized rock and roll twice, and that's why the Beatles are very important to music. And the Beatles influenced so many people, and that's why they're so good. Not only they're just so good. The reason why I love the Beatles too is because they were the right band at the right time. Even after rockabilly was a big thing at the time too. Especially they actually created their own technique. They're not just like one of those musicians that are just doing music for money. They actually did music for creativity too. And for dubstep, it's basically like a making you dance too, because dubstep doesn't really do anything. They all sound similar. That's why a lot of people have problems with pop music today. Because I sure disco was sort of like that, but even eventually it died in the early '80s and late '70s because disco is similar to pop at the time too, because it's basically again making you want to dance. It's not about listening to it critically, because music back then it's mostly, it depends on what you find, what you consider as music too. And that's basically all I had to say about this video. This is just basically a rant about how much I hate the genre too, and that's all. So, and I like, because I know you're gonna be like, oh, you gotta at least say something good about it. I mean, I don't know I don't know what else should I say something good about this genre, because it's just basically making you dance. It's not about listening to it critically. It's just about dancing, which gets annoying, especially that the more you dance, the more people are gonna find it danceable. The more likely the genre is gonna become alive again and again for generations to come too. And that's the main issue. Dubstep is music is basically about how people define it music too. Which I never really considered dubstep as music, because they just basically are basically pop musics. Like they're basically, especially how overused it is too. And I don't I don't get how people are seeing this, and I don't get how people are just not listening to it critically. They're just jamming out to it. They're not listening to it critically. It's about dancing too. And that's and I wish dubstep can die as a genre, because that genre is way too overused, and especially it's easy to make simplicity of that genre too. And that's all I had to say. That's pretty much how much I feel about music, and not only that, but how much I feel about certain genres too, dubstep. And this video I'm going to title it as one of my first rants about literally anything about what I want to say for you guys out there, even subscribers and the commenters. And if you guys and girls enjoyed the video, like, comment, subscribe, share this video with your friends and family. And due to, you know how the whole virus is happening, don't worry, I'm still healthy as always. And that's all. So that's all. My social media are in the description if you want to go down to the comments. And that's all I had to say. And that's all I had to have, sharing my thoughts about how much I hate that. This is basically a video about a random rant about how much I hate dubstep as a genre too. And that's all I have to say. If you get, I'll see you in the next video. Change the world. Peace and love. And also, keep rocking out. Keep rocking it out.